Hello and welcome to our show. I'm here from Safe Berks. My name is Francine Scaboria, and I want to tell you a little bit about Safe Berks. We are a nonprofit located in Reading, Pennsylvania, and we serve people in Berks County who are survivors of domestic violence or sexual assault. All of our services are free, confidential, and available in English and Spanish. And you can see all of our services at our website, which is www.safeberks.org. I am very pleased to welcome our guest today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This is Police Chief Andrew Kensey of the Amity Township Police Department. So thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And I wanted to ask you, just to get started, how long have you been a police officer?
I've been a police officer approximately 25 years. Wow. 23 of which worked in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm the current Amity Township Police Chief for approximately 2.5 years now.
That is wonderful, and thank you for your service. We really appreciate
Thank
that.
you for having me. Appreciate it.
And tell me, why were you inspired to become a police officer?
Well, I'm a third-generation police officer. Both my father and his grandfather were police officers in Philadelphia, and one thing I could say that I recognized as a child was seeing my father come home and knowing that he helped somebody. Just the self-gratification he got from being in a situation where he provided a service and help, and actually got paid for it at the same time, so it was a bonus. As I grew up and I saw how he felt about his job, I had the desire and the passion to follow in his footsteps, and I'm very happy that I did for that very same reason, to just be a part of the common good and help people.
That is so wonderful. Yeah, and I had the pleasure to visit you a few months back at an Amity Township meeting, yes. And you presented a check it was a gift to Safe Berks, and I got to accept it on behalf of Safe Berks, and it was from a fundraiser, and maybe you could just tell us a little bit about that fundraiser.
Okay, a while back we wanted to do something, and we partnered with a company called Lucky Squirrel Signs, which are located in Amity Township, and they produce these signs. Oh. One of which I have here, which I've brought.
Excellent.
Support your local police sign, Amity Township, First and Berks County, 1719. These lovely signs, which has our flag in the background, which is outstanding.
Yes, they're wonderful.
We're selling for approximately $20. One thing we noticed is we started to accumulate proceeds. And as a result, I spoke to our local government, our board of supervisors, and my township manager has been very supportive and said, where is the best possible place to donate these proceeds to? And the first thing that came to mind was Safe Berks, formerly Berks Women in Crisis.
Right.
That's the best place, because if we can provide one meal, if we can provide a place to stay, if we can provide some form of service to save one person, we've done our job. It's the best possible place and resource. Collectively, we all agreed that Safe Berks is deservingly deserves of these proceeds.
It means so much to us because we try very hard to work with all kinds of community organizations, including police departments. We really appreciate working with police departments. So the fact that you would not just you're already working closely with us, but then to make this donation and this fundraiser, it really means a lot to everybody at Safe Berks. And as you mentioned, a meal or a place to stay, we do have shelter for people who are fleeing domestic violence. We operate that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We can house up to 50 people. Mm-hmm. And then we have another transitional housing area for people preparing to be independent who may need some more time. And that is another, we can house another 25 people. So we have a total of room for 75 people in our building, and we provide counseling services, legal advocacy services, and it really does make a big difference. So the funding that you donated is going to really important work. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, and can people still buy a sign? Is there still time?
They certainly can. The Amity Township Police Department is located at 2004 Weavertown Road. We have a surplus quantity of these signs. Yeah. because we're in the mindset that the proceeds are going to go to Safe Berks. So you still can purchase these signs. They're $20. And the Amity Township Police Department, again, 2004 Weavertown Road in Douglasville, Pennsylvania.
Great. And when people put them out in their yard, they're showing their support for their local police,
Yes.
as well as helping this good cause. So it's really a win-win.
Twofold situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. And let me ask you, and I know this is tough stuff to talk about, but in your 25 years as a police officer, have you experienced and been a witness to domestic violence?
The amount of domestic violence that I've been exposed to over the course of the last 25 years is egregious, to say the least. When I was in Philadelphia, we had units that were solely dedicated to just domestics. Obviously, coming from a city of 1.5 million, it was a serious problem. So with that being said, any time that I responded to a situation of domestic violence from a law enforcement perspective, I knew that it was dangerous. In 2016, there were over 60 incidents of police shootings, and the majority of them were domestic related. It's the most dangerous thing that a law enforcement officer can respond to. Here in Amity Township, we don't have a tremendous amount of assaults, but the assaults that we do are specifically related to that of domestic. I went back and I looked from 2012 until current. We've had approximately 679 instances of domestic violence, whether it be verbal, whether it be physical. The citizens or the residents of Amity Township have called the police 679 times since 2012. That's a lot. That's a lot. It's a cyclical problem. It's an epidemic, and it needs attention. And it needs a constant attention from law enforcement and agencies such as yourself to figure out how we're going to help these people.
Wow, I appreciate you bringing those statistics because it seems to me it's much more common than most people realize.
Yes.
It's out there, it's happening all the time, and you as a police officer know that as a fact because you're being called and you and your officers actually put your own safety on the line because these can be dangerous calls.
Yes.
What kind of advice do you and the other police officers try to, or what can you offer the victims?
Well, about a year ago, we initiated something called the Legality Assessment, which I'm sure you're
Great.
familiar with, which was a questionnaire geared towards the victims. And what it does is we ask a series of questions, and if those questions fall into the category of being a potential lethal situation, it gives us the opportunity to refer them to a Safe Berks counselor, immediate, 24 hours a day.
Great.
It's a phenomenal tool.
And I want to just mention, if anyone is out there listening to this, watching this, if you are involved, you work at a police department, we would love to work with every police department in Berks County. We have this tool, which, as Police Chief Kensey said, is a questionnaire which can help the officer who's in the heat of the moment and this explosive situation, can give them an extra tool to try to gauge how dangerous that particular domestic violence situation is.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry to say that there are quite a few that end up in murder, and it's hard to talk about, but it's the truth. And we have an event at Safe Berks called the Silent Witness, where we walk down the street carrying life-size models of people which have shields on them with the story of people that have been killed right here in Berks County. So I guess I just want people to know that it can get that bad, and that anything that the police can do or Safe Berks can do to help, it really makes a big difference. So keep calling us. We have our hotlines 24 hours a day, and all of our services are 24 hours a day.
And one thing I wanted to mention from a police chief perspective, being an executive law enforcement, is that we're here to help you. They are here to help you. Do not be afraid to call us. We work for you. We're going to help you. I have 2 daughters. I have 2 granddaughters. If they were victims, I would want them to not be silent. I would want them to know that they can rely and trust the police are going to get them the right attention that they need. And in this particular case, it's Safe Berks. Please, don't hesitate to call at any time. We're here to help you. There is hope. There's a chance for a new life. There's a chance to start a new chapter. and we're going to make sure that we collectively get that done. You're not alone, and we can all do this together.
Great. And I just want to say thank you for joining our show. And at our website, www.safeberks.org, there are several pages under how can I get help, how can I help someone else, and something called safety planning, which I would encourage anyone who is in danger to review, or just call Safe Berks and we can help you work through a safety plan, as sometimes there is a danger right at the time that a victim would decide to leave. So be aware of that. And thank you for joining us. For more information about Safe Berks, check out our website at www.safeberks.org.